Welcome to the stream.
It's NBA action on EA Sports.
I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams for what should be a terrific matchup here tonight. We're at Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Tonight, it'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Houston Rockets. The opening tip won by the Houston Rockets.
Ed, you ready for another fun fact about the Houston Rockets?
Let's do it.
Okay, the team was established in 1967 and was given the name the Rockets because San Diego was the home to many space-age manufacturers. When the team eventually moved to Houston, the name still fit, giving Houston's association with NASA.
Wow, so Houston, we have a problem? All of that associated with space? Who knew?
Are you saying that because Carmelo Anthony's in town?
No, Apollo 13.
Oh, okay.
The Timberwolves have the basketball. Butler. Curling inside. James Harden missed his first. That one goes. Can only imagine how frustrating that is to stop.
It's beyond an arduous task for the defender. I'm getting frustrated even talking about it. Let me tell you 2 reasons why. Number 1, he's been top 5 in the league since the 2012-13 season in free throws attempted per game. That's pretty impressive. Will make any defender hesitant. And number 2, whenever the league implements a rule about you called the Harden rule for his knack for drawing cheap fouls, that's going to make any defender have a difficult time guarding Mr. Harden.
Nice pass to get things going.
What a pass. I have no clue how that ball even made it through the traffic.
Harden into the front court. Lead is 2. Deep right corner. 4-3. Tucker, dead on three-point shooter. Tough to guard.
There it goes in. The fact of the matter is some players aren't taking that shot on a regular basis, but still have the confidence to make them when you need them to.
Screen coming. Teague trying to finish, but he can't get it to go.
And that's how you make a difference. Every shot the offense takes, make sure that it has a 10 as far as degree of difficulty.
Teague with it up top. 5-point game. Here comes the screen. Butler to Teague. Here's a chance from long range, and he can't get it to go down. It's no good. Capella to P.J. Tucker. Goes reverse to lay it in.
Did you see that change of direction mid-flight? And also the English he utilized to spin the ball off the rim? That was a thing of beauty.
Knocked loose. Rockets have the steal. Hall. His first effort off the mark. Capella to Harden. Lets it fly from long range with James Harden. Muscle memory. Gets it to go. The way he gets to the line, you have to respect every part of his game.
He is an occupational hazard for referees. He's the MVP of drawing fouls. He constantly baits the defender, which makes the defender's hands drop, which allows James Harden to drop buckets on you.
Who left in Houston? Luka Mute to the Clippers, Trevor Ariza to Phoenix. So, Jay, how do the Rockets adapt without 2 key wing defenders this year?
Well, other guys need to step up. I think you need to see P.J. Tucker step up. Gerald Green, we all know how explosive he is offensively, but he needs to make that applicable to the defensive end. Michael Carter-Williams is another big acquisition. He's a bigger guard who can use his length to deter shots. And also another kid, Markel Brown, he played at Oklahoma State, extremely athletic, explosive on the perimeter. If these guys can do it by committee, that might be enough to eclipse the Golden State Warriors.
Harden. He engulfed him that time. T-Wolves with the basketball to Butler. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Well, their first 3, and they're right back in it within a possession in this first quarter.
Well, I don't want to live in the past, but if you got a couple of those to drop earlier, you could have had a nice lead. Now, we got a dogfight.
Both teams tweaking their lineups. Here come some changes.
Entering the game for the Minnesota Timberwolves, number 25, Derrick Rose. 1 minute remaining in the first quarter.
Paul to Harden. Going to launch beyond the arc. And James Harden, well defended, still gets it to go down. Sometimes it looks like he's not locked in, but think otherwise.
Let's be honest. Sometimes he is not locked in when the ball isn't in his hands. But do you need James Harden to be locked in 100% of the time? No, you need him to be locked in 95% when he has the ball in his hands. That's when something spectacular is going to happen offensively for your team.
Butler. And the rebound by Tucker. Harden with the basketball. They can get a 2-for-1 if they play this right. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
That's a good run right here to end the first quarter to open up that lead. If you're the coach of this team, you have to like the effort your guys are giving.
Rose to Butler. Jimmy Butler. He's 3 of 5. 60% shooting from the field.
You can finally see this team starting to get their rhythm and their groove offensively. This is a good run to get them back in the ballgame.
Knocked loose. Rockets have it. Inside, he scores.
It just seems like one of three things happen every time James Harden has the ball. Either he scores, he gets fouled, or he kicks it out to someone for a three. Pick your poison.
That misses with a second to go. First quarter's complete. The Rockets with the lead. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. Timberwolves have the basketball. 47 wins for Minnesota. They squeak into the playoffs. What's key to take that next step?
If you're Scott Layden, the GM of the Wolves, the one person you're waiting for to arrive is Andrew Wiggins. Now, he had an impressive 3 seasons that earned him a max deal. But we watched this young man go from being the second option behind Jimmy Butler to now the third option behind Karl Anthony Towns. He averaged 17.5 points last year, but you need him to be a max-type player for this team to take the next leap.
And hits the first free throw. He delivers with 2 free throws. Hits all 3 free throws. T-Wolves at the controls going up the floor to Rose. Screen coming. Rose goes to the right side. He cruises in for 2. Too easy.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
Paul. From long range. Not that time. He misses. Teague with the basketball. Right now, down 7. To Rose. Stuffs it down with authority.
Ed, did you see what this pass just did? Now it encourages his teammates to move with more sense of urgency because they understand that next time down the court, they might be on the receiving end of that pass.
Beyond the arc for 3. Shot from the lane won't go.
And you hate to say this, but this is the reality of the matter. Sometimes it takes guys a little while to warm up into the game. Seems like they finally found their rhythm in the second quarter.
So the first points for him in this first half, and he knocks it down for 3.
Yeah, they really need him to get going. Really surprised that none of his teammates have been talking to him. This is when he needs him the most. They have to uplift him, help him continue to be confident on the court.
Paul. Deep left corner. For three, buries it on the catch and shoot.
The post-shot confidence is everything. He's still running down the court, holding his extension.
It's Minnesota basketball. T to Rose. Sizing up the defense. T. Nene with the rebound. Has a chance. Jumper's good.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor. Jimmy Butler goes down last year, nearly cost Minnesota the playoffs. When he's healthy, what makes him so dangerous?
Well, he's a versatile player. He's a guy that can lock up on the defensive end and a guy that can give you 20-plus points every single night. Let's remember, he missed 21 games last year. That's a quarter of the season. But the team didn't do that bad without him. They went 10 and 11. If these guys can finally come together and build some chemistry, they're a team that could be a 6 or a 5 seed in the West.
Second one's no good. One more coming. Teague with it up top. His guys currently down by 13. Jimmy Butler, 4 out of 7.
Jimmy Butler's made such an impact on this young Timberwolves team. A guy with a blue-collar mentality, shows up to practice early and stays late. And obviously we saw that in the fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves made the playoffs for the first time last year since 2004.
Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
He should get some kind of acting award. That's a great sell by the offensive player. But guess what? The refs bit, and that's the game.
Jimmy Butler at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 83% free throw shooter. Can convert the free throw. To Harden. Fires the 3. He was all over him. Minnesota with the basketball. Great pass to set it up. Big finish at the rim.
We call that get your money and put it in the bank.
Harden to Paul. Fires the 3. That's off the side of the rim. Short. Too much contact. And free throws coming.
You never really want to foul a shooter, but if you do, ensure they're going to have a tough time converting. That's good knowledge of personnel.
Clint Capella at the line. First free throw is good.
Number 10, Eric Gordon.
2 for 2 on that trip. Minnesota at the controls. Rose to Towns. Karl Anthony Towns. He's 2 for 2 now.
That's lunch pail business right there. Don't worry about the no call. Keep powering through.
Chance for Paul. Deep 2 there. Won't go. To Butler. Wiggins. They get it down for Towns. Oh, big finish at the rim. Jay, you know the deal. Keep the touches coming inside.
As long as that defense continues to give you high percentage shots, you better take that every time.
Paul. Message received. Well defended. Rose into the front court. Counting down toward a minute to go in this first half. Butler to Rose. Now a steal as the Rockets have it.
That's called game plan execution to perfection. Every possession on the road is critical.
Rose into the front court. Down 5. Oh, Capella up to block it. That one out of bounds off a Rocket. Butler for 2. Wide open look, won't go.
You see, Ed, this is where coaches get fired. It's great to have good offensive sets, but if you can't execute, then the play was a failure.
And Chris Paul, quick catch and shoot there, 4-3. He has that sixth sense that you just can't teach.
He's like a traffic cop, and he's navigating a myriad of bodies coming his way. And there's a smaller innuendo of the game that nobody talks about. When he makes a great pass, he'll tell the offensive player, shoot it, go up, dunk it. He will direct you and lead you to success.
3 seconds, it's going the other way. Now preparing to shoot at the line.
Smart play to rip through the extended arm of the defender. That will get you to the free throw line every time.
Jimmy Butler at the line. And he connects on the first free throw. No back-to-back free throws here. He missed the second. That'll do it for the first half with the Rockets in front.
It's Jalen Rose, and I've got your EA Sports halftime report. The Rockets entered halftime with a solid lead. Clearly, the number of three-pointers these guys scored in the first half was incredible, and if they can keep that up, it's going to be tough to keep that team down. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Houston Rockets. The Timberwolves were unable to find an offensive flow in the opening half. They've got to break to figure some things out. And trust me, they've got a few things to figure out. Still, it's not like they're totally out of this game. These are the guys getting buckets for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Game track. Steals.
The Minnesota Timberwolves seem to be giving the ball away in this matchup like they're working for a charity. Too many times, they've given up steals, and the results have been terrible. The lack of ball control was apparent in the opening quarter.
Player of the half.
James Harden most definitely deserves to be player of the half for the way he distributed the ball. It was an excellent display of court vision and solid passing. top plays, and we've got 3 of them for you.
Number 2. Number 1.
And with that, I'm sending it back to Ed and Jay to bring you the rest of the game.
The Timberwolves have the basketball to Wiggins. Has a look. Shot by Wiggins won't go.
It's so important to instill confidence in your best player. I know he missed a shot earlier, but that doesn't mean that you can't run the same exact play and let him prove he's a player he thinks he is, and we all know he is.
Rose into the front court. His guys down by 9. Butler to Rose. Derrick Rose. Quiet night, but 2 for 3 in the contest right now.
Everybody in the building, including myself, thought that pass was going somewhere else. Fool me once? Okay. But you're definitely not fooling me twice.
Now that's a contest.
His scoring has definitely cooled off, but you have to give the defense some credit. They're denying him the ball and really making him work once he catches it.
No good. Oh, looked like he may have gotten him there.
Well, you can't finish with your right hand on the left side of the rim. You actually have to use your opposite hand. Steve Nash is one of the best at this. Different shots at different angles, high off the glass, expecting that there are trees down below with long wingspans that can block your shot.
Anthony to Capella. Inside, he scores.
Well, the shooting has been spectacular, but one of the things that I've seen as the difference maker in this ball game is how they are catching the basketball. They're not establishing a pivot foot, which leaves the defense wondering which way you can drive, but when that shot is working like that, you got it any way you want it.
Gordon with it. His team up by 7. Anthony. Capella. That out of his range and no good. Rose into the front court. Looking to make something happen. Straight down the middle of the lane. Way to punch it home.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ball game.
Ooh, Chris Paul. Ooh, 3 for 8. He's got to do better.
Ed, all this talk I heard over the summer, what about CP3's hamstring? Will he be able to get back his first step? Will he still have it? There you go.
Rose to Taj Gibson. The pass set it all up.
And ISO basketball is becoming a thing of the past. Team basketball is back. And if you have that personnel with the versatility plus the mindset, game over.
T-Wolves with the basketball. Rose to Gibson. From the painted area, won't go down. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
I'm not sure that wasn't an offensive foul, but take it when you can get it.
4-3. That's off the side of the rim, no good. To Rose. To the basket is Butler, but he can't finish.
One of the best kept secrets in the game, utilizing a head fake. Get the defender in the air, crack into him. Don't give the refs any excuse not to call foul. I put that one on you. You went up a little bit lazy.
Rocking the rim. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
Jay, last year, Rockets 65-17. Good for #1 record in the West. What's going to be good enough this year for the Rockets to get to the NBA Finals?
Well, you need CP3 to be healthy. If he's healthy, you can make an argument that the Rockets may have won the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors. But also, I think James Harden needs to continue to build on his play in the playoffs in particular. Everybody knows about how great he was during the regular season. But those last 6 games against the Golden State Warriors, he really struggled from the three-point line. He shot 37% during the regular season. He shot 20% in the Western Conference Finals.
Changes coming from both sides right now.
Houston Rockets, number 13, James Harden. Into the game for the Timberwolves, number 0, Jeff Teague.
He gets it. The challenge defending a guy who can be a 1 or a 2.
We're not old men talking about this game. We don't define players by positions anymore. Is he a 1 or is he a 2? No, he's James Harden. He is a scorer and an elite passer.
Almost, and he's not getting the call.
It's easy for the offense to get agitated when you keep turning around and the defense is right there in your face. The jawing is only going to escalate.
Timberwolves have the basketball. Wiggins. Layup goes down. Well done.
When the ball is in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Baller into the front court. The deficit now up to 5. Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins. No one in the Canadians' postal code with the basket.
Great shot by the offense, but the defense, you can't afford to collapse off that penetration. I'd rather a team take a tough 2 than a wide open 3.
Always has a chance for Tucker, but not that time. Teague with the basketball. Shot clock off as they look to tie or take the lead onto the fourth quarter. This for the tie. 3 quarters down. The Rockets with the lead. It's the Rockets in control of the basketball as we start the fourth quarter. And you have to figure they like this spot they're in, entering the quarter with the lead on the road.
Yeah, but Ed, I disagree. As a player, I'm not really worried about how big the lead is right now. I'm worried about what kind of energy we're going to enter the fourth quarter with, more importantly.
T. That's blocked by Capella.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
To Harden. And he hits.
Here's a tip for your defense. You can't give him that much space. You have to push up into his personal space and make him play the majority of the possessions with his back to the basket. Because if you allow him to open up, there's no stopping.
The assist from number 0,
To Paul.
Jeff Teague.
Add 2 points to the board. There's a sixth sense there that you just can't teach.
If you're a player on the same team with CP3, you should be taking that point guard out to dinner every single night. There's something to be said about a guard that makes the game way easier for you to be even more of an efficient offensive player.
Harden. And it's Butler with the rebound. To Teague. Jeff Teague. Now 4 for 9.
The pass was really good, but what I love most about the play, Ed, was that every player that ran in transition had active hands, which means they were active targets. They provided a target for the player to deliver the pass. That's how you work together as teammates.
Plenty of contact. The shot no good.
It's because he took his eye off his target, Ed. As an offensive player, you have to glare at where the defender's coming to, but quickly redirect yourself to your actual target. He was more consumed with the defender than he was the actual rim.
To Towns. Here's a chance from long range, and Karl Anthony Towns. Muscle memory put to good use there.
Just because someone is listening to you doesn't mean that they actually hear you. At the end of the game, when players get tired, they listen to what the assignment was, but they didn't hear what it was.
Looks like both teams are making substitutions.
Number 7, Carmelo Anthony. Entering the game.
Ball to Capella. Clint Capella, 3 for 6 now.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. T-Wolves at the controls going up the floor. Butler lets it fly from long range. Won't go down. Goes to the left side. Harden smothering D.
Notice that the defense isn't giving him as much space anymore. They're crowding him every time he catches the ball and really getting into his legs defensively.
T to Wiggins. Deep left corner. And they call the foul. Felt a breeze there, Jay.
His timing was a tad bit off.
Substitution being made in this one.
That's the first foul in the last 2 minutes.
Rose. Wiggins. Not that time. To Anthony. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
He should get some kind of acting award. That's a great sell by the offensive player. But guess what? The refs bit, and that's the game.
Carmelo Anthony trying to cash in on a three-point play, shooting 66% in this contest. Free throw good as he completes the three-point play. The lead is up to 6. It's Minnesota basketball to Taj Gibson. Wiggins. Oh, Capella up to block it.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Paul to P.J. Tucker. Anthony. Another chance. Gets toughness right there. Physical inside, gets it to go.
You see, here's why versatility is so imperative for your offensive repertoire. If you're a one-trick pony as a defender, I know exactly how to defend you because you only do one thing. But if you have versatility, then the coach can put you in multiple looks within the offense, and then you can get it any way you want it.
Paul to P.J. Tucker. Anthony. Tough shot. Well defended.
Shooters shoot, period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
They work it to Capella. Down low. That one out of bounds off a rocket. They're going to make some changes with some new personnel on the floor. Minnesota with the basketball. T to Gibson. Short jumper stays out. Anthony to Harden. Trying to cash in. He had all day and all night to knock that one down. Need to hear more chatter on the defensive end.
Look, the Rockets don't take too many mid-range jumpers. Actually, last season, they led the league in three-point attempts. Glad to see them actually find a two-point shot relevant these days.
Rose. Towns. Yes. Or in the case of the defense, not good.
I know there are refs on the court all the time, but it doesn't mean they can see every play. Maybe defensively, grab his jersey, step on his toe, do something to kind of change up his pace.
And Carmelo Anthony, he won't miss those. Hits the wide open three.
Ooh, that confidence level is so superior. Whenever you start jacking back on defense before the ball even goes through the net, that speaks for itself.
Rose. The shot blocked by Anthony.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
Has a chance, and he hits. Knocked loose. Rockets come up with it. Deep three at the buzzer. It's the Rockets who are victorious as they win this one handily. That does it. For my partner Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. As we say, so long, everyone.
Here, and I've got your EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Rockets took this down to the wire before getting the win. They did it with blocks, and they did it with steals. More to the point, they did it with excellent defense. They committed to the grind and got rewarded as a result. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Houston Rockets. The Timberwolves finished on the losing end of a close score. This loss is sure to be all the more bitter because of how well they shot from beyond the arc. Their percentage from three-point range was outstanding. Check out the leading scores for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Game track. Three-point shooting.
Each of these teams were solid with their long-range shooting. So by extension, they were pretty poor with their perimeter defense. Closing out on shooters must always happen, whether you're tired or not.
Player of the game.
James Harden gets rewarded for the way he provided his teammates with plenty of easy baskets. His assist total is certainly indicative of his clever playmaking. Here are the top 3 plays from the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
This has been a presentation of ESPN on EA Sports. Until next time, I'm Jalen Rose, signing off.
The Houston Rockets control the tap. There will be no shortage of shots for Carmelo Anthony in Mike D'Antoni's offense, Jay. Why is it a good fit for Melo in Houston?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, if there's one guy you need to trust, his name is Daryl Morey. And the Houston Rockets organization is a stat-driven culture. So he understands at this juncture where Carmelo Anthony is in his relationship to his career. Playing with two pass-first type PGs in James Harden and CP3, who averaged a combined 12.5, 13 assists last year, will open up the floor extensively for Carmelo to knock down those jump shots.
Hits a second. One more coming. And he hits all 3 free throws. Minnesota at the controls. T to Butler. That's blocked by Capella. Foot was on the line. It's a turnover. Wiggins. To Butler. Yes, Andrew Wiggins. Good start. He's made his first shot.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Paul knocks it down. That was a tough shot. Jay, he's played for a number of teams in the Western Conference, no less. What do you make of Paul and his willingness to embrace a challenge?
Well, for the first 12 years of his career.
Whoa!
Get that out of here.
Message sent, Jay. T to Butler. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. His first effort off the mark. To Harden. Going to launch beyond the arc. Textbook defense. Teague with it up top. Down 4. Oh, bad pass as the Rockets come away with it.
I'm hearing some boos from the crowd. They know just like I know you're not getting back on D.
To Teague. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
To P.J. Tucker from long range, and he's fouled. Good play by the shooter.
You know what? That's an even better play by the defender. I like the foul there. Send a message. Nothing easy.
He's going to have to earn it now. Knocks down the first. And he hits the second.
For Minnesota, number 43, Anthony Tolliver.
Almost settles for a 2-of-3 trip. The Timberwolves have the basketball. Easy path to the rim.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Probing the defense. Now Paul with the basketball. The lead is 2. Beyond the arc for 3. Tucker, dead on three-point shooter. Tough to guard.
And that's what this game is. As the game plays, you have to adjust on the fly. That delivers the element of surprise.
A drive by Butler, but his shot won't fall.
Ed, you ready for another fun fact about the Houston Rockets?
Let's do it.
Okay, the team was established in 1967 and was given the name the Rockets because San Diego was the home to many space-age manufacturers. When the team eventually moved to Houston, the name still fit, giving Houston's association with NASA.
Wow, so Houston, we have a problem? All of that associated with space? Who knew?
Are you saying that because Carmelo Anthony's in town?
No, Apollo 13.
Oh, okay.
T-Wolves with the basketball. T to Towns. Curling inside. Jeff Teague, 2 for 2. That's what you want.
Come on, somebody tell me when he added that to his arsenal.
We get a whistle and a timeout for Houston as they'll talk things over here in the first quarter. We have both squads set to make some moves right now.
Minnesota Timberwolves, number 25.
To Anthony. For 3. That's good D. Shot no good.
Number 10.
Teague with the basketball. Now down 6. Gibson to Towns. Knocked loose. High risk, high reward. It stays in their possession. And Towns with the flush. The smooth, fluid game from Karl Anthony Towns.
I mean, with so much talk these days about three-point shooting and the spacing on the court and having versatile athletic wings, sometimes when you have a dominant big man, you keep giving him the ball. You let him be that anomaly.
And now Houston has the basketball. Ooh, Chris Paul. 2 for 3 now here in the first. When you look at playmakers in the last decade plus, what sets Chris Paul apart?
He always puts you in a position to succeed. He leads because he's vocal, and when he directs and he guides, there is nobody better at the position than CP3.
Paul. He made his first effort, but not that time.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Knocked loose. And that's going to be off of Anthony out of bounds. It'll stay with Minnesota. Looks like some substitutions are coming on in.
Houston, number 42, Nene. And number 2, Brandon Knight.
Rose around the perimeter. Jimmy Butler for 2. Jimmy Butler, he's 2 for 5. Not great, but trending. We talk so much about who are the MVP candidates, but there are other guys who are so valuable to their teams, and Jimmy Butler at the forefront of that list.
I have a phrase that I use when I describe players like Jimmy Butler. It's called most valuable mentality. There are certain players that approach the game with a certain mindset every single day that they will do anything possible to win the ball game. He plays with his heart and soul every single possession and every night, and he will leave it on the court if that means he can win the ball game.
Jeff Teague at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 84% free throw shooter. Free throw up and good. And the three-point play puts them up early in this one. Ooh, Chris Paul. 3 for 6 now.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Almost, and he's not getting the call. That misses with a second to go. First quarter is complete with the Rockets in front. Second quarter set to start. This is what we like. This game is certainly in the balance.
A filling out process between each teams, and also, Ed, a filling out process with the referees. A lot of quick whistles. The game is being called differently. Look to see how both teams adjust.
Butler to Wiggins. Fires the three. That's off the side of the rim. Short. Paul to P.J. Tucker. From the painted area. Won't go down. Rose into the front court. Down by one. Shot from the lane won't go.
Ed, the game is so different. In today's NBA, defenders are longer, quicker, and more athletic than we've ever seen before. So offensively, as a shooter, you either have to be able to create more space off the dribble for your shot or have a much faster release. Ideally, you have both in your arsenal.
First one goes down. Second and three. Got it. And he cashes in at the line. 3 for 3. 47 wins for Minnesota. They squeak into the playoffs. What's key to take that next step?
If you're Scott Layden, the GM of the Wolves, the one person you're waiting for to arrive is Andrew Wiggins. Now, he had an impressive 3 seasons that earned him a max deal. But we watched this young man go from being the second option behind Jimmy Butler to now the third option behind Karl Anthony Towns. He averaged 17.5 points last year, but you need him to be a max-type player for this team to take the next leap.
Timberwolves have the basketball. Derrick Rose. He's finally on the board. Makes his first shot.
In the paint, you need to finish just like that.
Gordon with it. Up 5. Deep left corner. Fires the 3. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
And I don't know why the defense continues to help on guys that drive. Make them take shots over your bigs. By you helping more, you're just leaving three-point shooters open on the perimeter.
Inside, he scores.
Ed, did you see what this pass just did? Now it encourages his teammates to move with more sense of urgency because they understand that next time down the court, they might be on the receiving end of that pass.
Always has a chance for Tucker, but not that time. And Jimmy Butler, he's 3 for 7.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
Now the Rockets will use a timeout as they'll talk things over in what's now a 4-point game. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor. Paul to Carter Williams. 4-3. Good contest. No good for Carter Williams. Wiggins to Towns. You've got to get that one to go. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
That's lunch pail business right there. Don't worry about the no call. Keep powering through.
Paul to Carter Williams. Here's a chance from long range. Off the mark. No good. Knocked loose. Love the hustle. Sprawled down on the deck. Towns. A lot of contact. No whistle.
One of the best kept secrets in the game. Utilize it a head fake. Get the defender in the air. Crack into him. Don't give the refs any excuse not to call foul. I put that one on you. You went up a little bit lazy.
To Paul. Lets it fly from long range. No good. That's great defense. Rose into the front court. They trail by 2. Oh, he had it. Shot from in close. No good. Teague with it up top. Looking to make something happen. Here comes the screen. Derrick Rose. He's 2 for 2 now.
I 100% guarantee you that was not the play call, but a bucket is a bucket.
Got it.
Well, they have such great flow to their offense this evening. The ball isn't sticking to one player individually. It's moving around the perimeter, and it's zipping. They're playing with a special cohesiveness.
To Towns. Rose. Derrick Rose slams it down.
You know what I like about this pass play? Instead of putting his head down and forcing the action, he patiently waited for the play to develop.
We get a whistle and a timeout for Houston as they'll take a moment to go over things here in the second quarter. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes.
Number 23, Jimmy Butler.
Short jumper won't go down. T-Wolves at the controls going up the floor. Looking to take this all the way and finishes strong.
Jimmy Butler's made such an impact on this young Timberwolves team. A guy with a blue-collar mentality, shows up to practice early and stays late. And obviously we saw that in the fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves made the playoffs for the first time last year since 2004.
And he'll head to the line.
Smart play to rip through the extended arm of the defender. That will get you to the free throw line every time.
That's the first foul in the last 2 minutes.
Can't connect on the first free throw. Knocks down the second after missing the first. Harden to P.J. Tucker. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. That no good off the mark. Taj Gibson to Towns. And watch him do the rest. Slam dunk.
In an era where big centers often get devalued, Karl-Anthony Towns is a true foundational player. He can function as a traditional center, but also can show you quick moves around the perimeter and knock down that three-point shot from deep.
It's Minnesota basketball. Karl-Anthony Towns, 4 out of 7.
And sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
Paul, that's how you defend.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defensive end. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
That's it for the first half. The Timberwolves have the lead.
Jalen here with your halftime report. The Timberwolves are in a tight battle after 2 quarters, and they've been showing off some excellent shooting, and it's ultimately points that win games. So if they can keep this up, there's a great chance they can finish with a victory. These are the guys getting buckets for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Rockets are keeping things exciting in a close matchup. And without question, they can put themselves in a position to win this game if they continue to rack up the assists. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Houston Rockets.
Game track. Assists.
That was an excellent first half of basketball. And I say that because of the way these teams move the ball. The offenses have been flowing, and the action has been mesmerizing. We've got ourselves a nice game here today.
Player of the half.
The Timberwolves have themselves a close game after 2 quarters. And these guys have every reason to feel good about how they scored effectively in that opening half. Great offensive display. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Rockets are still very much in this matchup. And even though they don't have the lead, they're doing a great job of moving the ball around. They might find themselves on the winning end of the scoreboard if they can keep it up. These are the guys getting buckets for the Houston Rockets.
Game track. Assists.
We're seeing unselfish basketball in this matchup, with each team turning good shots into great shots. These squads really know how to let it flow.
Player of the half.
Karl Anthony Towns put in the hard work that's needed to grab all of those rebounds. He was a rock for his team. Here we go with the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Timberwolves are in a close game thus far, and they've been showing off some excellent shooting, and it's ultimately points that win games. So if they can keep this up, there's a great chance they can finish with a victory. These are the guys getting buckets for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Rockets are within striking distance at the half. I love the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impressed me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Houston Rockets.
Game track. Assists.
The first half is exactly what coaches want to see from their players offensively. The ball is moving, players are taking great shots, and the assist totals keep going up. Here we go with the top plays from the first.
Player of the...
Back to Ed and Jay to bring you the second half action.
Jimmy Butler goes down last year, nearly cost Minnesota the playoffs. When he's healthy, what makes him so dangerous?
Well, he's a versatile player. He's a guy that can lock up on the defensive end and a guy that can give you 20-plus points every single night. Let's remember, he missed 21 games last year. That's a quarter of the season. But the team didn't do that bad without him. They went 10-11. If these guys can finally come together and build some chemistry, they're a team that could be a 6 or a 5 seed in the West.
Goes reverse to lay it in. He has that sixth sense that you just can't teach.
He's like a traffic cop, and he's navigating a myriad of bodies coming his way. And there's a smaller innuendo of the game that nobody talks about. When he makes a great pass, he'll tell the offensive player, shoot it, go up, dunk it. He will direct you and lead you to success.
The follow won't go either. Nice follow-up on the dunk there.
It's that easy, Ed. You never want to leave any doubt when attacking the rim.
Anthony. To Paul. Going to launch beyond the arc. That's off the side of the rim, no good.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there, utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
Butler to T. From long range. Not going down here. Beyond the arc for three. Well defended.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Yes, and the foul. And a chance at three coming up.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number one, create contact, and number two, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
Andrew Wiggins trying to cash in on a three-point play, shooting 50%, some yes, some no, in this contest. And he can't convert the free throw. To Harden, has a look. Off the mark, well contested.
It's easy, force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
The assist from number 23, Jimmy Butler.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
Ed, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
Chris Paul at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 86% from the line. Free throw is good to finish off the three-point play. And the margin down to 8. Minnesota with the basketball. Stuffs it down with authority. Whoa, that was like an express train. No local stops.
It's like you walking into the tunnel getting ready before this game. I saw you. You were locked in. You had the horse blinders on. You were myopic. Nobody was stopping you. You were focused.
Jay, there's a level we have to reach game in and game out. Gamers know what it's about. To the basket is Butler, but he can't finish. Paul. For three. That's off the side of the rim, short.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Missed it. They weren't going to give that to him.
It's because he took his eye off his target, Ed. As an offensive player, you have to glare at where the defender's coming to, but quickly redirect yourself to your actual target. He was more consumed with the defender than he was the actual rim.
Butler to Taj Gibson. Inside, he scores. There's a toughness he learned under Tibbs at 2 stops, and no question, that rubs off on younger players.
There is something that Jimmy Butler does that no other player in the NBA does. He gets into your psyche. He gets into your head each and every possession. He enjoys the process of the fight. Every single blow. There is a pleasure in the pain.
Who left in Houston? Luc Mbah a Moute to the Clippers, Trevor Ariza to Phoenix. So, Jay, how do the Rockets adapt without 2 key wing defenders this year?
Well, other guys need to step up. I think you need to see P.J. Tucker step up. Gerald Green, we all know how explosive he is offensively, but he needs to make that applicable to the defensive end. Michael Carter-Williams is another big acquisition. He's a bigger guard who can use his length to deter shots. And also another kid, Markel Brown. He played at Oklahoma State. Extremely athletic, explosive on the perimeter. If these guys can do it by committee, that might be enough to eclipse the Golden State Warriors.
Minnesota at the controls. Butler to Wiggins. Takes stock of the floor. Butler for two. Just not going down.
You know, Ed, everybody gives so much credit to the guy who contested the shot, but there's no way he's in that position without the communication of the backbone of the defense. When you have a guy back there who can block shots and tells you to apply more pressure, you know you're in a safe place.
Tucker to Anthony. Paul buries it on the catch and shoot.
Well, the defense has been good, but the shot-making ability has been better. And sometimes for NBA players at this level, the more you're in their face, the more it helps them center their focus on the target, which is making a shot. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it's a real thing, man.
Curling inside to Wiggins. The Wolves down to 4 in the shot clock. Butler not getting the bounce. To Rose. A shot rejected by Capella.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Knocked loose. Capella. Paul. Great defense, forcing the miss.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Fires the three. Always has a chance for Tucker, but not that time. That ends the third quarter. It's the Timberwolves in front. It'll be Rockets basketball here as we start the fourth quarter. And I think the best way to describe where they stand right now is they're down, but they're not out.
It's a game we used to play in the league all the time. It's called a series of stops. That means get 3 stops in a row. Each game is a game within the game. You get 3 stops in a row, and then another 3 stops in a row, you're right back in this ballgame.
From the painted area, won't go down. Rose into the front court. His team up by 7. Butler to Rose. Shot from the lane won't go. To Harden. James Harden. He has struggled just a little bit. 2 for 5. The way he gets to the line, you have to respect every part of his game.
He is an occupational hazard for referees. He's the MVP of drawing fouls. He constantly baits the defender, which makes the defender's hands drop, which allows James Harden to drop buckets on him.
It's Harden. Brings the ball up. Probing the defense. Harden to Capella. Nice pass to set things up.
And the last 10 sequences down the court, everybody's touched the ball. You don't see anybody with any kind of negative expressions on their face because everybody's eating.
Add 2 points to the board.
Everybody in the building, including myself, thought that pass was going somewhere else. Fool me once? Okay, but you're definitely not fooling me twice.
Clint Capella. He's 3 of 5, 60% shooting from the field.
This coach must have had said some pretty intense words in the locker room to this individual because we're really seeing a different player so far in the second half.
Reset time for Tom Thibodeau. New players coming onto the floor. That's blocked.
Oh, and he can't keep it in off the block.
Man, that was impressive.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
Butler. Trying to cash in. Oh, he was wide open. It's not going to be pretty when they watch the video. Someone's getting chewed out. Rockets in control of the basketball. Nice finish at the rim.
Ed, all this talk I heard over the summer, what about CP3's hamstring? Will he be able to get back his first step? Will he still have it? There you go.
And the rebound comes down to the Rockets. To Paul. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
And Ed, here's my offensive theory. More touches, more points. This is a fast-paced league. Either the coaches adapt or you'll be left behind.
Oh, they call the foul, Jay.
Those cat-like hands almost got a steal.
Time to shuffle things up. Wiggins. Knocks it down from mid-range.
The defender needs to do a better job of forcing a pickup there.
Paul to Capella. Clint Capella. He's now 4 for 6.
And this goes to show the importance of teammates. They've carried you the entire first half. Now it's your time to pick up the slack.
T to Butler. To Teague. It was right there. Anthony to Paul. Tough-looking shot there. Still gets it to go down. There's a sixth sense there that you just can't teach.
If you're a player on the same team with CP3, you should be taking that point guard out to dinner every single night. There's something to be said about a guard that makes the game way easier for you to be even more of an efficient offensive player.
James Harden. James Harden. 3 for 6 now. Can only imagine how frustrating that is to stop.
It's beyond an arduous task for the defender. I'm getting frustrated even talking about it. Let me tell you 2 reasons why. Number 1, he's been top 5 in the league since the 2012-13 season in free throws attempted per game. That's pretty impressive. Will make any defender hesitant. And number 2, whenever the league implements a rule about you called the Harden rule for his knack for drawing cheap fouls, that's going to make any defender have a difficult time guarding Mr. Harden.
T to Towns. And Jay, they call the foul.
He took a chance. That's the right call.
Coach is going to shift gears and adjust his matchups. Gibson. To Butler. Fires the 3. You on top. Jimmy Butler. Contested 3. He buries it.
I got to be real here. I think he was the only one expecting to shoot that shot. The crowd, the coaching staff, every other player on the court, and myself, all of our mouths are left wide open right now.
Harden. Can't go down. Smothering defense. The Timberwolves have the basketball. Wiggins to Gibson. Driving right to the basket. Butler. It's good. That's the shot they wanted him to take. Now the Rockets will use a timeout. They're going to have to draw something up for an open look at a 3. Harden. Shot off the mark. Good defense. It's a victory for the Timberwolves as they win this one by 3. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
The EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Timberwolves got the win in a close game. I could get into detail about their play calling and shot selection, but let's be honest. We all know that the dunks were the most exciting. I'd be surprised if the rim isn't a little bit bent at this point. The Rockets are probably frustrated with themselves after such a narrow loss.
And as you can see, it doesn't matter how many threes you hit if you don't follow it up on the defensive end of the floor.
What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored to the Houston Rockets.
Game track. Field goals.
Neither of these teams were able to make much of an impact on defense. As you can see here, they were each pretty successful with some efficient scoring.
Player of the game.
Butler could not have been more impressive in this game. The way he scored the basketball looked like he was playing with kids in high school.
Who was cold?
This isn't the segment you want to be in, of course, but even the best players find their way into this part of the show.
Time now for the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
And that does it for our post-game wrap-up. On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose. Thanks for joining us.